Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to In the Spotlight with Jill Nicolini on Business Talk Radio, where we take your business to the next level. Welcome back to Business Talk Radio. We are joined again today by Lori Van. And again, she's from Dallas, Texas. Van Associates is the name of her company. And she's an international authority on non-suicidal self-injury and so much more. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
Great. So coaching, consulting, counseling. Please give us a little bit of your background, please.
Well, the simple part is I did my undergraduate at Pepperdine University, studied psychology. Went to Chapman University to do my master's program, and then came back to Dallas and have been here in private practice on and off since 2001, full-time private practice since 2008. I've worked inpatient psychiatric, outpatient clinics, nonprofit sector. So I have experience from a lot of different parts, and that allows me to be a pretty well-rounded supervisor.
Oh, that's wonderful. So what is Van Associates? Can you give us some insight?
Yes. So I started off with just myself in a private practice, and then in 2010, I added in the associates part, my interns, because I knew there was a need in the mental health field. And in business, one of the ways successful businesses grow is they understand the needs of their community. And with that, I decided, you know what, mental health should not be a luxury item, and my interns are able to do visits for a lower price than what I'm allowed to do by insurance contract. So it started there. Around the same time, I saw another need for support groups for self-injury, so I started those. And then about 2009, I started doing media interviews, and have been doing those ever since on a national and international level, trying to spread mental health awareness and talking about some fun things like business and psychology.
Wow, great. So as far as today's show, what would you like to focus on for our listeners today? Is there an area of interest that you'd like to specifically address?
Yes, since this is geared a little bit more on the business side, I think maybe looking at the perfectionism in business and how that holds people back. I've written 5 books.
Oh, wow.
And the first one is always the hardest. It's like giving birth in many regards, except you don't get an epidural when you give birth to a book.
That's a great way of looking at it.
Yeah, the first one's hard. The others weren't so bad because you've already been there, done that. It's like, okay, I got this. And that's why I'm working on books 6 and 7 that are actually on the topic of perfectionism. One's going to be geared towards students, and the other one is geared towards business people, especially entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And the thing is, perfectionism really stops people from achieving their goals. And in that regard, that for the perfectionism aspect, someone once said, how many books have not been written because people are looking for the perfect time,
yes,
the perfect opportunity, the perfect this, that, and the other, and so they never do it. And that actually robs the world of their knowledge that's so perfect. I mean, that really encapsulates so many things that we don't try, is that we either have a fear of failure. What if I don't do it well enough? What if it flops? But what if it succeeds? What if you have an idea that really could be the game changer in your field? Mm-hmm. And by you letting perfectionism get in the way, you're really robbing the rest of the world of that opportunity.
Absolutely. To continue talking more on the business side, I mean, I'm just pretty much fascinated with all, you've done. You've been in this business now. You've been counseling for over, 25 years? Is that true?
Since 98.
Wow.
So yeah, it's weird to think about that.
Yeah, well, I'm on your website. I want to urge everyone to do the same, vanassociates.com. You've been called by your professional peers the guru and, quote, an authority on non-suicidal self-injury, and of course being recognized as one of the top counselors in the Metroplex when it comes to developing interns into highly ethical professional counselors. So again, you have so much that you've done, and it's amazing to see what the impact that you've you've made on other people's lives. So I know the coaching, the counseling, the consulting, you kind of do it all.
Yes. Well, and the coaching actually is relatively new in comparison, and was sort of a natural transition of, I had my interns, and I would have that year and a half or 2 to 2.5 years with them, depending on how quickly the process moves, and then they would be done. But there's so many things that you can't cover in that short period of time, and realizing that there were so many other counselors whose supervisors didn't cover a lot of stuff with them about how the real world works. And so many businesses fail because they get out of school and they have the book smarts, but they don't have the real world smarts.
Yeah.
That they don't know how to implement the knowledge that they've been given. And having been a professor and around other professors, and I'm teaching psychology, I was the only one that really had a counseling background, at least for one of the schools I taught at. The other psychology professors had never run their own private practice. They had never actually gotten licensed. They were teaching psychology strictly out of a book, and that really, to me, becomes problematic for any psychology majors or people that may have considered that field. And I'd say the same in business. If you're looking for a business program, you need to go find the program that has actual practicing professors, people that have actually run their own businesses, that understand what it takes to be in business, and aren't some ivory tower professor that has a lot of theoreticals but no real world.
Yeah.
And coach, along with all of those pieces, that I want to be able to pass along this 20-something years of knowledge and experience and all of these different backgrounds and different opportunities I've been blessed with, and pass that on to the next generation of counselors through supervision, but also pass it to even just the current counselors that maybe they've been in corporate America and done the corporate mental health thing, and they're burnt out, and now they want to look at their own practice and they don't know where to start.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of counselors, much like, in any industry, that they don't make it to their 5-year anniversary. And they just don't have the knowledge. So I do believe in coaching. I do believe getting it from people that have the experience and know what they're doing. And the thing is, they've already gone through all the pitfalls. I mean, when I do marketing classes for behavioral health and mental health and healthcare in general, I'm like, please listen to me. I've made the financial mistakes investing in advertising that doesn't work and doing this thing and that thing. Save your money. I mean, literally come to this class, and for a small amount of money, I'm literally going to save you probably like $20,000. So, yeah, plus a lot of time, energy, and effort. And that's just the coaching piece. And I love that aspect, helping others.
Yeah. So how does it work to work with? I know you're based out of Dallas, Texas, but you are global at this point, and you can work with, as a coach, with anyone all over the world, right? So as far as helping someone get their business started, what's the process, and to get them into that mindset? What is it like to be coached by you? What is the scenario? Do you work together once a week, twice a week, virtually on the phone? If you give us a little bit of a background, if someone out there is interested in getting some, consulting and coaching as far as, starting their own business as well.
Well, the starting process is that, one, I like to do just a quick conversation with them. And I offer that, 15-minute consult. Let's see if we have initial chemistry. And also just doing my due diligence to make sure I'm going to be the best fit for you. Because there might be some things that you're needing that I'm not the best fit for. I don't have that particular knowledge base, but I'm going to find someone for you that does. And I believe that's an ethical thing to do, too, is that you should never treat someone or coach someone if you don't have the background in what they're needing. You should refer out. That we start off, once we decide it's a good fit, and we look at what goals they want to achieve, and it's a very interactive process. Some people are needing weekly Some people, it might be once a month. It might be an accountability aspect to it of, I have the ideas, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but the implementation, the follow-through, yeah, that's lacking a little bit, and I need someone to keep me accountable. So I offer that, and the coaching also can go to life coaching too, sort of strategizing with someone about where their life needs to improve or how they can reach their full potential. Because not everyone is comfortable with the counseling word. And so one of the things in coaching is I added not just it for the business piece, but I also added it for those individuals that they go, well, I don't know about that counseling thing, but I'm okay with the coaching thing. And there are differences between the two approaches. And I'm like, you know what, whatever gets someone to come in and get some guidance so they can reach their next level of success, I'm all for it.
That's great. And at this time, Lori, please establish again your best form of contact for us.
Going to vanassociates.com, or you can also feel free to email me at Lori, Lori, at LORIVAN.com. So Lori at LoriVan.com. And those are probably the two best ways to, one, find out more information about me and the services, but also there's a contact page there too.
Perfect. So Van & Associates, they do coaching, counseling, consulting, and is it just yourself, or you have a team of people that work with you as well?
I do have other counselors in my practice. I'm the one that, since it's, I'm the head of it, I do the coaching consulting piece of it, and the consulting is for treatment centers, hospitals, psychiatric hospitals, in particular, nonprofit organizations, school districts, colleges, and consulting with them of how to implement some of the mental health strategies that I've created. The idea of the counselors in the practice, 3 others, and some of them are in the insurance panels, and then I have 2 that are the intern associates, and they can do the lower cost counseling. And for how the rules work, the counseling has to stay in the state of Texas. I know we have business listeners from all over the place, so I'm sure there's some Texas folks there.
Of course.
So, for the counseling, we can counsel anywhere in the state of Texas. That's what the license allows. The coaching allows me to coach anywhere and everywhere.
Great.
And same thing with the consulting. That's the beauty of it.
Perfect. And we're speaking here with Lori Van, international speaker, media darling, as they call her, parenting and boundaries expert, and self-injury authority as well. So Van & Associates is the name of her company, from coaching, counseling, consulting. She does it all. Visit her website, vanassociates.com. Welcome back to Business Talk Radio. We are joined once again here by Lori Van from Van & Associates, based out of Dallas, Texas, but helping people all over the world. And again, as far as Lori is concerned, she's been in practice, counseling since 1998, and she's a speaker, professional speaker since 2000, and she's known all around the world for a lot of work. And again, helping teenagers, parenting advice, and of course, helping those who unfortunately want to or possibly think about the route of taking suicide and self-injury. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you. This has been a pleasure.
All right, so let's continue the conversation here today. I know you kind of want to focus more on the business side of things today. So please, where would you like to start?
Well, sometimes there are obstacles that stop us from our business goals, and trying to traverse that while I'm working for someone else, and the 40-hour-a-week job is actually sort of a myth at this point. We're looking at more like 45, 50, 60-hour-a-week jobs. And people go, well, this isn't what I want to do for the next 20, 30 years, and I have these ideas, and I'd like to be in business for myself. And how do you make that transition? And the short answer is, it's not going to be easy. It's going to take work. But if it's something you really want, it's worth working and fighting for. And yeah, you're probably going to lose some sleep over it, but you always have to look at what the rewards are that go with it. Anyone that we see that's really successful, it's probably taken them 10 years to get to that point. And what I have found is that people that are successful, they persevere. That's probably one of the top traits that they possess is perseverance. That when they're faced with an obstacle, they keep going through it. They don't let it deter them. That they also are adaptable. They're learners. And instead of getting stuck in pity party mode of, oh, well, I didn't succeed, and oh, that failed, and they go, okay, yeah, I'm going to lick my wounds, so to speak, but what can I learn from it?
Yeah.
And successful people are learners, and they learn from not only their mistakes, but they even take it to the next level. They learn from other people's mistakes, and that's some of the beauty of where the coaching piece comes in, is learn from other people's mistakes so you don't replicate them. Mm-hmm. And just doing those things help move anyone to a higher level of success in their personal and professional life. Mm-hmm. But some additional, obstacles in that transition is the financial piece. Well, yes, there's going to probably be a period of time, unless you've saved up your time off, your PTO, and you've been hoarding it. And then if you're allowed to cash some of it out, you take that money, instead of spending it on a new phone, instead you put it into your future business fund. And from there, it's every paycheck. See, how much can you just skim off, whether it's big or small? It just needs to be something that you're putting toward quitting this job and starting my own business fund. Mm-hmm. And even if it's just $10 of a paycheck, the fact that you're going through that exercise of putting money to the side, psychologically, that keeps you going, because you're still moving in that direction. And saving money is a habit. And financial advisors have said that for eons. But when you're wanting to start your own business, even if it's a little side hustle, you have to have the practice of saving money. That all of us should have the rainy day fund for sure, but we have to also look at our priorities. Mm-hmm. Do we really need to spend the money on that extra, $7 coffee? Or can we give up one of those coffees a week? Well, okay, that starts to add up. Mm-hmm. What about for entertainment? Do we really have to have the newest and best of everything? Or can you learn to delay your gratification, put that money into the savings to bring you closer to your goal? The reason a lot of people fail is they lack that persistence, they lack that vision, and they lack the self-discipline to keep going, even when it's the easy road to go, well, but this one time, it won't hurt this one time if I just spend my money on this. And that's how they sabotage themselves. Yeah. And those are the obstacles that really can interfere with being successful in personal or professional life. And sadly, a lot of people can't see that they either are in denial, or they want to rationalize or justify why they spend their time or their money the way they do. But so often they're excuses. And it's just them making excuses as to why they're not going to be successful, because underneath that is really probably the fear of failure, and that goes back to that perfectionism. It's their own negative self-talk. It's their own beliefs about needing to be perfect before they can do this launch, and it just undermines their efforts. And that's where either coaching or counseling can really drill down to those beliefs, the beliefs that are not even cognizant that they have. So those are just some of the initial thoughts that I wanted to put out there, considerations.
And just to remind everyone, we're speaking with Lori Vann, website Vann Associates, VANNASSOCIATES.com. Again, you can check out her website there and all she has to offer. And also we'll continue the conversation. Now, I know you've always had this urge to be a counselor, right? And to study psychology in a sense, right? I read your bio, and I know we've spoken before. But you knew by the age of, 12? What were you, in 6th grade, I think?
Yes.
That you wanted to help.
Yeah.
What was it that inspired you to want to help so many people?
It's been such a variety of things. I think first and foremost, my parents were inspiration on that. I was raised to always give back to the community. I was raised to do volunteer work. So from the very young age, whether it was with our church and going over to the retirement villages and doing crafts or visiting with the residents there, or putting together food drives or one thing or another, volunteering and giving back to others has just been a core piece of my rearing, so to speak. And that's always continued, and my parents role modeled it, and and that goes to the power of role modeling. Kids are paying attention, that I was part of it too, and I think that also helped with my maturation process too. That oftentimes I found I was probably a little bit more emotionally mature than some of my peers because of the opportunity to volunteer. Mm-hmm. But yeah, by sixth grade, it just seemed to be the snack of all my friends would come to me, and I was able to sit and listen, and I'd ask questions, and then I would throw out some opportunities, or not opportunities, but things for them to think of, consider, and they'd go, yeah, okay, well, that makes sense. And it just kept going from there. There were some probably media influences at some level. That I'm a huge fan of Charlie Brown. I was disappointed to hear that the TV stations had decided not to show the Charlie Brown specials this year for the first time in, I don't know, decades. Because I think there's so many valuable lessons within the Charlie Brown Peanuts game. And, Lucy was a counselor, and so probably my initial exposure to it, she was not a good counselor. Just want to preface that she was not a good one. But then there were others, such as MASH. I watched that as a kid. And the psychiatrist on it, and him working with Hawkeye and PTSD, and just being fascinated of, wow, really being able to help awakenings with Robin Williams. That I don't remember exactly how old I was when that came out, but probably middle school or high school, and watching that and just seeing that, oh, wow, there are individuals that are stuck with these medical conditions, and seeing the hope of them getting better, but then they regressed when at that time, L-DOPA stopped working. And really, I'm going to have to accept that there are going to be some cases that I can't help.
Yeah.
And there are going to be some losses in that column. And do I have the stomach? Mm-hmm. Do I have the ability to deal with that?
Yeah.
And said, you know what, the greater good outweighs whatever thing of perfectionism, that I'm not going to be perfect with every client. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to be able to solve every situation. And that's okay, because the ones I can help are the ones that matter. Mm-hmm. And you never know what that expansion, that not trickle-down effect, but something similar, what the impact is going to be. If I help one person, then maybe they help a person.
Exactly.
And yeah, I mean, it's really been blessed, and a blessed path, and many people in my life that have helped me on that path. And one of my coaches, JT, he provided me a wonderful opportunity to get to interview Dr. Phil. Yes, and that was an amazing experience.
And I apologize at this time. We do have to say goodbye. I would love to talk more about that experience as well. Maybe next time when we speak. Is that okay?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Great. And would you mind just giving us the best form of contact for you once again?
You can go to VANN Associates.com, or you can email me directly, Lori, Lori, Lori at LoriVan.com.
Thank you so much for your time. You have a fantastic day.